Hello, this is the Catholic Esquire. Please check out my website, catholicesquire.org. Please like and subscribe to the channel. So it's come to my attention, actually, it's not really new at all, but it's very common to hear and receive complaints from people who listen to these videos or who I interact with on social media. I am on Twitter, by the way, Catholic Esquire. Um, it's very common to hear people respond to what I say or what others who say things like me say by calling us divisive. I want to talk about that for a second. Now, calling someone divisive in the Catholic Church today, the other one is calling someone schismatic. It's pretty much like the equivalent of calling someone a racist when you're talking politics. The purpose of calling someone divisive or schismatic is in order to shut down the conversation. It's almost always used when they hear something that they don't like to hear. For example, hey, there's a real problem with the culture in Novus Ordo land. There's a real problem with contraception use in Novus Ordo world. Hey, there's a real problem with women taking on too much leadership and involvement at the new mass. See, people don't like to hear that. And so the automatic response is to call you, oh, that's divisive. Oh, you go to Latin Mass at the SSPX? That's schismatic. Now, of course, these people have absolutely no idea what they're talking about 9 times out of 10, especially when it comes to the SSPX issue. I'll address that on a separate video. That's definitely worth spending some time on. What I'm going to talk about in this video is the divisiveness charge, because I see that a lot. You're being divisive. Oh, just call me a racist. Why don't you do it? And we'll just shut down the conversation right there. Because what else can I say? You call me a racist, I must be racist. You call me divisive, I must be separating the unity of the church. That's what you're trying to say. But here's the reality of the situation and why that argument doesn't work. I didn't cause division in the church. Oh, there is division in the church. I didn't cause it. The people going to traditional Latin Mass did not cause it. The division was already there. This division began a long time ago. It was there before I was even born. Now, there's people that like to pretend it doesn't. There's a whole cottage industry out there of professional Catholics that try to square circles, that try to make 2 plus 2 equal 5, that try to pretend that everything that happened between the Second Vatican Council and today was all just one big happy natural progression of church teaching to come to this point where we're at today. That's BS. Now, I know, God bless his soul, Pope Benedict tried to make this hermeneutic a continuity. That's what that was, work. I think he legitimately wanted to make that work because he had a very important role in the Second Vatican Council, quite honestly. He grew up in that Germanic New Theology tradition coming out of Germany. And as he aged and got older and became wiser, he could see all the problems that caused. But he was in a bad position. What are you supposed to do? Say everything you did and said before was was a product of modernism and heresy? Forget everything I said? No, he tried to make it all fit together. I get why he did it, but there's no way to do it. You just can't do it. And so that's where we're at. We have a hermeneutic, if we want to talk that way, use big words. We have a hermeneutic of rupture. That is a reality. But that's not because of anything traditional Latin Mass people are doing. People that attend the traditional Latin Mass are clamoring for the days when we had unity. Clamoring. And that unity existed up until the point of the Second Vatican Council. Now, I understand modernism predates the Second Vatican Council, and I understand the modernists did, and that they were working behind the scenes, sometimes openly, to to effectuate that rupture in the church. Uh, but that wasn't me. That wasn't the people who go to SSPX. That wasn't the people who go to FSSP. That's the modernist heretics. They're the ones that caused the rupture because what they teach and what they believe is contrary to the teachings of the Catholic Church. And so those who are trying to get back to that point, who are trying to restore order in tradition, we are not the divisive ones. We're simply recognizing that the division exists and we're trying to fix it. Now, what I would like to see happen is that these people who claim divisiveness and calling traditionalists names, what I'd like for them to do is spend some time instead of reading some of these pseudo theologians on YouTube for talking points and just regurgitating them. What I would like for them to do is spend some time actually thinking about and researching what's happening in the church right now. Now, that's going to require reading something other than what you get from Bishop Robert Barron. Okay. It's going to require you to expand your horizons a little bit beyond the same old stuff you get at Catholic Answers. Okay. And I'm not saying it's all bad. I've learned a lot in my growth and development from Catholic Answers. But the reality is that you have to get beyond that because you're not going to see the full picture of the rupture that exists. This is something you have to do the work on yourself. That means you have to read books, you have to read articles, you have to read what Archbishop Lefebvre was actually saying. Get Michael Davies' books, read those. Um, you have to look into this stuff because you're never going to see it. And quite frankly, you really need to do it. I think it's a matter of duty and faith. Canon law certainly charges you with this duty, that you have a duty uh, to uncover the realities of the faith and use your reason, your God-given reason, to put two and two together instead of trying to do the mental gymnastics of making what we're witnessing in the Novus Ordo parishes this day fit in with what we know about church teaching. So I challenge you to join me in this battle against division. And in doing so, it's going to ultimately require the return of the traditional Latin Mass to every single parish around the world, because the Novus Ordo Mass is a manifestation of division. It is, by definition, division, because it divided itself from the Roman Rite, which was promised to us by Pope St. Pius V, never to be destroyed. So I want you to think about these things and join me on my mission to restore tradition, including the Mass and the social teachings of the Church within every parish. And in that way, we can all be on the same team to do the real battle we need to do, which is in the secular world, which is now crumbling under rejection of God and the rejection of the social kingship of Christ. But we have to be on the same team to do that, and we have to understand what the faith really is all about and what the Mass is all about. That's where we receive our power and our graces from. Thank you for listening. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. Maybe this will help somebody. Thank you, and have a great day.